Nemanja Matic could return to the Premier League 2 years after leaving Manchester United, with Fulham keen to end his troubled stay in France. A situation that has been bubbling beneath the surface for some time finally exploded this week, Nemanja Matic's spell at the Stade de Rennes exploding as gossip, mud and bitter public statements reignited like lava and rubble. According to Get France Football News, Matic believes Rennes are guilty of unfulfilled promises. The club, in turn, accused Matic of missing training sessions, which he denies, calling the midfielder's recent behavior incomprehensible. Now, the experienced Serbian certainly sounded like someone willing to put water under the bridge on Instagram, taking his share of the blame for the rather unfortunate situation by explaining that he and Rennes would decide on the next steps together. But has the damage been done? Is it too late for the relationship between player and club to be fully repaired? If the answer is yes, then don't rule out the prospect of the player, who will be let go by Manchester United in the summer of 2022, returning to English soil for one last hurrah in the Premier League. According to Gianluca Di Marzio, there is interest from Fulham. Therefore, it is possible that Manchester United could face a familiar face when Marco Silva's team arrive at Old Trafford at the end of February. Matic, who moved from Chelsea in the summer of 2017 for £40 million, spent 5 years in Manchester before being reunited with Jose Mourinho at Roma for a season. He then moved to Rennes last August, signing a 2-year contract that looks set to be unfulfilled. Matic could be the latest in a long line of highly rated players who have represented both the Gunners and the Red Devils, following in the footsteps of Edwin van der Sar, Dimitar Berbatov, Chris Smalling, Andy Cole and Louis Saha. Netherlands player Brian Brobby is a target for Manchester United, but the striker has revealed how he once turned down a fortune to move to Old Trafford to return to Ajax. Brobby, 21, is relishing his return to Amsterdam after a nightmare period in Germany with RB Leipzig. But he revealed how Reds boss Erik ten Hag wanted to take him to United when the Bundesliga club made it clear they would listen to offers for the player in the summer of 2022. The Bundesliga club initially allowed the forward to return to Ajax on loan last January. United were prepared to pay Leipzig £16 million for the player after deciding they no longer needed him, but Brobby decided to chase happiness rather than money. It has been suggested that the powerful forward is still on Ten Hag's radar as he looks to add goals to his misfiring team, and this time Ten Hag may have his man. Erik ten Hag called me and told me that at United my agent would get millions of euros and I could earn several times my salary at Ajax. But our decision was unambiguous. We wanted to move to Ajax. Manchester United wanted to get me, but I insisted on returning to Ajax. To make that possible, my agent Jose Fortes Rodriguez even waived a hefty percentage of the sell-on clause. Brobby is expected to lead Holland's strike force at the Euros despite returning to Ajax, who have struggled all season. Ten Hag gave him his Ajax debut when he was in charge of the Eredivisie club. But when Brobby's contract ran out in the summer of 2021, he moved to Leipzig. It was a big mistake. He said, "Ajax promised me there would be no new striker, and suddenly there was Sebastian Haller, the most expensive acquisition in history. I didn't even mind it. But when I was told I wouldn't be able to play, I was angry. Julian Nagelsmann had such a good history that I honestly thought I would get minutes at Leipzig." Before the season even started, Nagelsmann and the technical director who brought me in, Marcus Crochet, left the club. However, Brobby could be tempted by the chance to move to United to link up with Ten Hag again. Manchester United and Anthony Martial are in a strange situation right now as rumors of his departure swirl. Erik ten Hag has had his say. Anthony Martial hasn't played for Manchester United for over a month now, ever since his poor performance at Old Trafford against Bournemouth. His contract expires in June and there is no intention of extending it due to the fact he offers very little for the wages, £250,000 a week, he receives. But so far in January there have been reports that United don't want to wait until June to see him transfer to Turkey. Thursday brought the news that negotiations for Martial with Super League grandee Fenerbahce are at a crucial moment. However, nothing is imminent, and as Martial has not been with any team for over a month, there is a real sense of confusion as to what is wrong with him. Now Erik ten Hag has revealed all. Speaking to the press during the pre-match conference, Ten Hag was asked about Martial's well-being and whether he thinks the Frenchman is effectively trying to rule himself out of the sale, which could upset fans. He's not fit, so he's not okay. We want all the players to be fit and ready to play. At the moment, he is not. We have to get him fit. His job is also to get ready for the next game, but he is not doing that at the moment. He is under treatment and he needs to recover. This message from the manager is extremely vague, telling us little about the condition of the number 9. However, that's probably the point. Ten Hag has confirmed that Martial is under treatment. The only real indication that Martial's absence is related to his health is when Ten Hag emphasizes that the Frenchman is currently under treatment and needs to recover. He also effectively said that Martial is not doing his job right now, not being ready for the next game. It looks like Martial's time at United is coming to an end either this month or in June, so hopefully the club can, as Ten Hag delicately put it, get him fit and he can leave on a high note. Former Manchester United head coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been out of work since leaving Old Trafford more than 2 years ago, but he is now in talks for a shocking potential new role. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer appears to be back on the job hunt as he begins talks over a surprise new role. It's been 2 years since Ole was sacked from Manchester United, and in hindsight, it's clear he's done a much better job than he's been given credit for. Gary Neville believes he's the only coach since Sir Alex Ferguson to have a style of play. He has done a remarkable job with, in hindsight, not a very good group of players. Therefore, many United fans are looking forward to the next step in the Old Trafford legend's career. Now it has been suggested that he is in talks for a job. Here's what we know. After a 2-year break from management, Ole could be in talks to return, and this time it will be to the international managerial scene. This is reported by Swedish publication Fotbollskanalen, who claim that there have been talks with Ole about the prospect of him becoming the new manager of the Swedish national team. It would be an interesting choice for Ole to return to management given the fact that he is Norwegian, but it would have several advantages. The advantage is that there would be 2 familiar faces waiting for him in the Swedish national team lineup. Victor Lindelof could be the captain of the Swedish national team. Current Sweden captain Victor Lindelof would be one of Ole's familiar faces on his team. It is unlikely that he will take the captain's armband off Lindelof, so he could be captained by a player he knows well. Another player that Ole could be reunited with is Nottingham Forest player Anthony Elanga, who made his debut under the legendary Norwegian striker. It's certainly a role that it would be interesting to see Ole in, but we won't hold our breath as talks are still at an early stage, although it would be good to see him back in management.